and welcome to Alien Investigations. I'm your host, Steven, and I've got Mr. David Pease here with me, as well as Guillaume. How's it going, gentlemen?
Hey.
It's good to see you guys.
Good.
Very good. I'm excited about this game. We were just talking about this beforehand. It's been a couple weeks, so when you extended the challenge, I was very eager to take that on.
Yes, and though when you say it's been a couple of weeks, by the time this ever gets recorded, it'll have been months and months from the time you made that statement. But nonetheless, David is correct. We have not thrown down in our favorite pastime, the X-Files Collectible card game. It's been a bit of a spell, and we're trying to get back into the swing of things. But it's not to say that we haven't been productive behind the scenes. The Season 5 expansion that I've been working on is in production right now. I've got Dax working on mock-ups for the cards, and who knows, before you know it, we'll be play testing this thing. And
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to play testing it. And you've been writing those cards for a while now, and so yeah, new agents also, which should make for interesting new teams. So yeah, it should be I think it's as good as Season 4. So
thank you kindly for saying that. With each of the rewrites I've been doing with this draft of Season 5, I'm feeling better about it. I'd like to say that I would like to say that when all is said and done, it lives up to, or maybe surpasses, what you all have seen with the Season 4 expansion. It feels like it's quite a journey getting these these fan-made expansions from paper to printed card. We're going to be doing just as many playtests as we had done with Season 4, if not more.
More, for sure.
Probably more. Guillaume, tell us about what you've been working on with regards to your expansion. 2 expansions, plural, actually, because you've got 2, 6 and 7.
Yeah, well, I just finished going over Season 7 again, because that's the first expansion that I started working on, and even though I had a good knowledge of the game, I feel like it was not as good as it is now, after all the games we've played, all the games I've watched, and after working on Season 4. So I wanted to go back to the cards that I had written and kind of change some of the effects, improve keywords, things like that. And I finished doing that during my vacation. So now the first draft of Season 6 and Season 7 are done. So it will be quite a while before we get to them. And I think during that time, I'll still think of a few adjustments. But I think the most challenging part will be to trim down those 2 expansions to 175 cards each, because that's the number that we decided for each expansion, excluding promo cards.
We, the creative team, have collectively decided that our standard cutoff for the expansions will be 175 cards. The amount of promos available with each one will vary, and I say that will be consistent for the ones that are covering an entire season, like in my case, Season 4 and 5, in Guillaume's case, 6 and 7. There are some other expansions going on right now, one for the feature film. At this point, I mean, everyone's pretty much aware of it. That's been following closely enough. That one's only 55 cards. The one that Nathan is working on currently, I don't know how many he plans to write for that. I get the sense it's probably not going to be 175. So I think that's about wraps up what we've been working on. So I feel like everyone's brought up to speed. For the purposes of tonight, though, we're just playing a good old-fashioned game of X-Files Collectible card game using just the commercially released cards. My opponent for this evening is going to be Mr. David Pease. Guillaume is acting as judge and jury for the proceedings, so he'll be hanging out in the background, and we'll call upon him should we have any questions. Isn't that right, Guillaume?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I don't anticipate having to intervene during the game. You guys know what you're doing.
Well, Steven sure does.
Yeah, and more often than not, I think this is coming up more with the custom cards than with the commercially released ones. We've played with, by and large, we've played these cards many times, and we've pretty much reached a consensus on a lot of those ambiguous effects at this point.
You mentioned the allowed cards for this game. What about Gen Con? I do have a Gen Con card.
Oh, David, of course, Gen Con. How could I exclude Gen Con cards? I'm actually surprised I'm not working with either of my two Gen Con cards. I welcome the chance to see any Gen Con card in action, as would the audience watching. But I have to wonder, though, if by that extension, if one of your Gen Con cards you're speaking of is a X-File card.
Yeah, you'll just have to play and see.
All right, so I think we're about ready to get this party started. Guillaume, sending you in the back, and just let us know if you see anything gone awry in our game. Thank you, good sir. So you guys know my usual method for determining who goes first. I got my custom tokens here. David, if you pull the one with the red X here, you will be starting off as the investigating player. So which hand is it going to be?
It is going to be your right hand.
My right hand, which means you are going to be starting off as the investigating player, my friend.
All right.
And of course, I will be starting off as the conspiracy player for this first round. Let's draw our 7, David, and get this game started.
Okay, there's my 7, and I'll draw 1 to start my turn.
David has drawn his free card, and we are now in the briefing phase.
Start the clock. All right, so I'll generate a res to get everything started. And very quickly, while I do that, I'll introduce my team. I've got Detective Manners, which is 0 res. Agent Henderson, which gives me 1. Nancy Spiller gives me 1. Charles Burt gives me 1. And Agent Dana Scully gives me 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 res to start out. And let's see here. I think I'm going to preserve what I've got there. I like double-digit numbers in my pool, so I'm going to stick with what I have. I'm not going to buy anything. I'll turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Sounds good. So I'm going to be selling just a couple of cards. The first one being Misclassified Case for 5, and Smoke and Mirrors, Smoke and Mirrors number 3 for 4, and that is going to add 9 to my conspiracy pool, which will take it up to 14. And I didn't really draw any good stuff, so I think I'll buy 6 cards, and that'll take let's do 6 cards, and I'll take my conspiracy pool down from 14 to 8.
We're at the beginning of the game, so no healing. And let me get my thing a little closer here, just to make sure I stay on track. Not going to do any requisition. For deployment, I am going to bring all 5 of my agents out to the field here. And for case assignment, we are going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is a medical 5 or criminal investigation 5. You may ask a method or result question. That cost me 1, so it'll take me down to 9, and I'll turn to you for any bluffs.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of Mr. Donnie Faster.
They'd like you to start right away.
Hey, what's going on here? The water is ice cold. What kind of sick freak are you? Oh my God.
Mr. Faster?
Yes, that's wonderful news. Thank you so much.
Don't you come near me. I mean it. Don't you touch me! Stay away from me! Stay away from me! Don't touch me!
Let's do 2 bluffs.
Let's just get it started right. I'm going to use one of Dana Scully's tokens to see. How about just that top bluff right there?
The top one? Okay, the one I would be
right
pulling
there.
first is Nasty Surprise.
Okay. No, I gotta save my Scully tokens. I'm gonna go all 5 to the side. Let's see those bluffs.
Okay, so the first one, as you just saw, was Nasty Surprise. Play to add 5 tokens to your pool. I will only be adding 3 because it was face down. So my conspiracy pool will go up from 8 to 11, and just bear with me while I shut up this cat.
Sure.
He always knows when I'm playing. Come on. Quiet. All right, so anyway, that is the first bluff. The second bluff is unnatural aging. Shit. You know what? I'm not going to play that one. Forget it. I'm just sending it to the discard pile. Never mind. Moving on. All right. Tell us about your site.
This is medical or criminal investigation, but I'm going to use criminal investigation.
Okay.
Manners brings 1. Spiller brings 1. Agent Henderson brings 1, so 3. Dana Scully brings 2, so that's 5. And there you go. I got exactly 5.
All right. I'm going to play Darkness Falls for 6, and that's going to take my conspiracy pool down from 11 to 5. And Darkness Falls has the activator of result site, of which that is one of the keywords available on there. And David, Darkness Falls has the keywords primordial creature and adversary.
They're on me! Come on!
Stop it! Watch it! Still! Stop it! Stop
You're
it!
seeing them! Mulder, get them off me!
They're not just on you. They're everywhere.
And its effect states, unless a healing card is played immediately and the card results in 1 point being healed, move the agent to the hospital. The agent must stay in the hospital for the next turn. Do you have anything you would like to use to negate that?
I'm going to play Dr. Daniel Trepkos, a witness.
Yes, you would. Of course you would. Well done
Cost
on
me
that.
2. Yeah, and his effect, just for the benefit of our audience, negates 1 primordial creature.
Okay, well, I do have one other card I can play because that is thankfully a multi-site. And the second one I'm going to play is the Psychotic Attack for 4, and that's going to take my conspiracy pool down from 5 to 1. You're really making me work for this, David. Now, the Psychotic Attack has the activator of method site, of which that is the other keyword provided on Minneapolis, Minnesota. The keywords are evolutionary and pawn.
Oh my god. Now that is a trick. Hey guys, take a look at this.
Careful, lights.
Its effect, David, is that damage from the long-range combat may be split among all opponents, directed player's choice.
Evolutionary, you say?
but pawn.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take it on that one.
All right, so with that, we will be heading into the long range combat round, for which I believe your team, you're working with probably, 6 long range? Is that right?
7.
7. Okay, which is enough to defeat the psychotic attack in long range.
Watch. Is it in there?
No.
You're too smart for me.
Sorry, the psychotic attack will be inflicting 3 upon Agent Henderson, who has a health of 3, and that will be enough to send her to the hospital.
Yeah. Well.
So tell me, David, at this point, how much criminal investigation do you still have?
Well, I've got 4 now, so I'm 1 short.
Ooh, your kingdom for Detective Frank Briggs, who you usually do include in your decks. But did you include him this time?
I'm trying to think back, and I don't recall seeing his name when I was stacking my deck with stuff.
Do you want to check?
Oh, I'd hate to waste a token, but you know what? I am going to check. I'll at least get some witness
Might as well get something out of
for
it.
something.
Mulder, I think that you and the hypnotherapist were leading her, and I think that there was more confabulation in the second version than in the first.
I think you're wrong about that, Scully. But I do think you're right about one thing, that this case might not have anything to do with aliens.
Hey, I just got a call from some crazy blankety-blank claiming he found a real live dead alien body.
Well, I think once again I have found myself without the right card.
Well, you still get to pull a witness anyway, even if you're just going to sell it in the next round. So grab a fat 5 RP witness if you have one.
So I'm just going to grab Victor Klemper
All right.
here, so I will not be able to make that prerequisite.
Tough break, my friend. So with that, we'll head into the debriefing phase. And I'm currently sitting on 7 cards, so I will keep all of them. What about you?
I'm going to do a quick check here. I didn't buy any, so I think I'm safe here. 1, 2.
Okay.
Exactly 7 with my friend Victor Klemper, so no discard.
Sounds good. We'll pass it over to me, and I will draw my free card to start a new round. And since this is my team's first foray, why don't I go ahead and introduce my agents. My lead agent is Agent Fox Mulder, and his right-hand man will be Agent Alex Krychek, although he's a bit dastardly, so maybe Mulder would want to be a little bit weary of him from time to time. We also have Dr. Charles Burke, and from the 1013 expansion, we have Agents Kresge and Detective Manners. And with regards to the res, from my team of 5, Mulder has 2 res, but he will be using that to purchase cards rather than add to the resource pool. Agent Alex Krychek has 2. Dr. Charles Burke has 1. While, unfortunately, Agent Kresge and Detective Manners, who are resourceful, they are coming into this with 0 res each. So, I will be only adding 3 to my resource pool from Krychek and Burke. And again, Mulder will be purchasing cards with his 2 res. And I think I'm going to... Sorry, my cat is... Sorry, guys, I'm sorry, my cat is really annoying me right now. I will pay 3 and take my resource pool down from 8 to 5. And I will draw 5 cards.
Okay.
And, that really helped out well. I pulled a hard evidence. I will play that right now for 2. And that will allow me to add 5 tokens to my resource pool. I'll be adding 3 to that because it costs 2. David,
Yes, sir.
what are you selling?
I will be selling Successful diagnosis for 2.
Oh, but it was successful, though.
Well, successful in getting me 2.
Yeah.
And Victor Klemper for 3. That gives me 5.
Victor Klemper goes bye-bye. Once again, he is CP fodder, which is kind of fitting because that's basically what he was in that one episode, right?
Pretty much.
Mr. Klemper.
Hello again, young lady.
Where's Victor Klemper?
Oh, poor Klemper. They found him yesterday here among his flowers. Apparently his heart had given out.
You killed him, didn't you?
That having been said, I am going to buy 2. And I'll turn it back to you, sir, to continue.
Thank you. Before we head out of the briefing phase, I think I'll just go ahead and use one of Manners' 2 tokens to call forth my good buddy, Mr. Kevin Morris. I'm a creature of habit, am I not?
Well, it works. So
he works.
What are you doing? You making something? Can I take a look at it? Thanks.
It's coming from there.
The TV?
Mr. Kevin Morris will be joining our team for the cost of 3. And David, would you like to tell the audience what Mr. Kevin Morris does?
Oh gosh, let me see if I remember. I don't remember verbatim, but
take a crack at it.
Kevin Morris adds 1 RP anytime an alien investigation or criminal investigation. No, evidence. No,
evidence collection.
Evidence collection.
Evidence collection.
Card is played.
Yes, every time a keyword alien investigation or evidence collection card comes up in the course of my round, I will add 1 to my resource pool. And that being said, we'll head out of the briefing phase and very quickly brush past the healing phase because this is the inaugural round and no one is in need of medical treatment. And gosh, I have a lot of cards, but none of them are equipment cards, so we'll skip past requisition phase as well and head into deployment, in which we'll be sending everyone out of the bureau and into the field. At which time I will play. I saw that word. Is it? Yes, I will play Reading the Signs for 0.
State police reported there's graffiti on the bark.
Looks like some kind of ritual symbol.
Most of the refugees that focused on are Haitian.
Mrs. McAlpin believes voodoo was behind her husband's death?
Mrs. McAlpin doesn't believe her husband killed himself. She wants to know who did.
And David, Reading the Signs is played on a team in the field, of which they are now as of the deployment phase. If the team makes an occult investigation 4 skill check, they may take 2 conspiracy tokens from their opponent's pool and add them to their resource pool. And with regards to occult investigation, Mulder has 3 and Dr. Charles Burke has 2 for a total of 5. So hand me a bit of those conspiracy points, if you will. Unless you'd like to negate that card.
No, you got me.
All right. So that'll take my resource pool up from 5 to 7. And that will take David's conspiracy pool down from, what was it? Not 8 to 6 or what?
8 to 6.
8 to 6, right on. Okay, so let's cut to brass tacks here and play some sites. I've got 2 in my hand here, and I think I can pull them off. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be dropping 2 sites on the mat. The first one is Lake Okoboji Campsite 53 in Sioux City, Iowa. And the second one is Miller's Grove, Massachusetts. And both of those have the keyword alien investigation. And because of that, Mr. Kevin Morris will be adding 2 to my resource pool. And what I'm going to do is I will take 1 of Mulder's tokens to pay for one site, and I will drop 2 from my resource pool to pay for the other one. And David, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 is a keyword motive alien investigation site. Miller's Grove is a keyword result and alien investigation site. What do you have for me?
I've got these 2, and this one goes on the campsite, and this one, refresh my memory, goes on the second site.
Miller's Grove. Okay.
Miller's Grove.
Okay. We head into, before we allocate the team, I'm going to play Alien Discretion for the bluff on the 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 campsite for 1 plus the bluff that you have on that one, which was
3. It is car trouble.
No, I'm sorry, not the, sorry, I misspoke. It's 1. It costs 1 plus the number of bluffs on that site, which is just 1. So that'll
which
take
is
it down
1
from 7 to 2. And what was it? Car troubles.
Car troubles. Yeah.
All right on. That I was probably going to be sending 1 agent there anyway. Now, with that out of the way, I'll be sending Mulder over to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 along with Detective Manners, and yeah, we'll send Mulder and Manners to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and we'll be sending 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Burke, and Kresge to Miller's Grove. Let's begin with 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, David, and it is an Alien Investigation 4 prerequisite, of which Mulder has the 4 needed to make that skill check. So, do you have any cards for me?
I'm just going to play this bluff face up for 5. It's injured relative.
Oof.
Force one opposing agent my choice to go to the hospital immediately, and that would go toward Agent Mulder.
Yeah, no. I'm going to tank my conspiracy pool, or tank my resource pool. But I need to get the question, so I'm going to play the Erlenmeyer Flask for 4. But it does have the keyword Alien Investigation, which Kevin Morris will put 1 back on there to negate that particular bluff and keep Mulder in this game.
Do you have it?
Yes.
Good. They're willing to make the exchange.
You spoke to them?
Yes. I'll take the parcel.
No, sir. I made the exchange.
I made the deal, Scully. They're expecting me.
I don't trust you.
You've got no one else to trust.
I don't know who you are. I know nothing about you.
Oh, for God's sake, don't screw this up. Let me tell you something you should know. In 1987, a group of children from a southern state were given what their parents thought was a routine inoculation. What they were injected with was a cloned DNA from the contents of that package you're holding as a test. That's the kind of people you're dealing with.
So why give it back to them?
To save Mulder's life.
At the risk of so many other lives?
It's the tip of the iceberg. You and Mulder are the only ones who can bring it to light.
And what else you got?
Nope, that'll be it.
That's it? Okay, so that having proven a successful site investigation, my team has been awarded a motive question, of which I will just throw it out there. David, by any chance, is your X-Files motive survival?
Motive is not survival.
It's not. Goes without saying, but no identity question will be taken at this time. Let's head over to the other site, which is Miller's Grove, Massachusetts. Again, Alien Investigation 4 is the site prerequisite. Dr. Charles Burke has 1, and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 3, for a total of 4. Let's see what bluff you got there, David.
All right, here it comes. This is sleep deprivation. Decrease all of the skill levels on one agent, my choice, by 1 for this turn only. Now, that normally costs 2. It was played upside down, so it costs 1. That takes me down to 0. I'm hoping you don't have something in your hat there.
I do not. I do not have anything. Yep, you got me there, David. So, yep, we're going to send Miller's Grove to the discard pile, unfortunately.
Get out, Scully. This whole place could blow.
Get down!
So with that out of the way, let's head into the debriefing phase. I am sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. What about you, David?
I have 4, so no discard.
No discard. Let's pass it back to you. Draw your free card, sir.
I will draw that free card to start my turn. Very nice, very nice. Generating res. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Get rid of
So I'm going to buy 3. And I will turn to you to sell and buy.
Thank you kindly. I'll be depositing 3 cards in my discard pile. The first one is Hell Money for 4. The second one is Ceremony for 5. And the third one is Take Cover for 2. That is 11. That'll take it up to 12. From 1 to 12. And I think I will spend 5 to draw 5 cards. And that'll take it down from 12 to 7.
Okay.
Back to you.
All right. Healing phase, I'll take 1 off of Agent Henderson. And then a requisition, I will not be requisitioning any equipment at this time. Deployment, my 4 agents are going to stay here in the field where they already are. So that takes us straight to case assignment. I guess I don't have any sites this round.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, since I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff anyway, I'm going to play Rejuvenating Caves for 2 right now. And we all know what that card does, David. I will be adding 10 tokens to this card, and beginning on my next go as the conspiracy player, I'll be able to take up to 2 tokens from this card and add them to my conspiracy pool. Shoot, how many cards do I still have? 8. So as we are now in debriefing, I'm going to need to part ways with 1 card. And I think, considering you have Burke and Spiller, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time getting a computer access denied past those agents, so that one is heading to the trash bin. What about you? You discarding anything in debriefing?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am. I'm going to discard Puzzles Within Puzzles to get me down to 7.
Ready to pass it back to me?
Back to you to start your investigation, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I will draw a free card. So I still have 5 res at this point, of which, again, with Mulder's effect, I'll be automatically getting 2 cards from that. And of the 3 that I will be adding to the pool, maybe 2 more. Could use some cards. Over to you.
All right. I am going to sell the shotgun for 6. And this site isn't going to be able to help me for a while, this Los Angeles, so I'm going to sell that one too for 7 conspiracy.
Friend in the FBI. Let's play that right now before we head out of briefing.
Well, I still need to buy.
It's okay. I'm playing this now while we're still in briefing. But go ahead and do your thing, and because I just did not want us to head into healing and then realize I forgot to play that card.
I have the distinction of being one of 3 men to have exterminated such a creature. I was with the CIA in Vietnam. UFO was sighted for 5 nights over Hanoi. The Marines shot it down and brought it to us. Maybe it didn't know what a gun was, or perhaps they don't show emotion. But that innocent and blank expression as I pulled the trigger has haunted me. Until I found you. That's why I come to you, Mr. Mulder, and will continue to come to you to atone for what I've done. And maybe sometime, through you, the truth will be known.
All right, I am going to buy 2. Takes me down to 5.
Okay.
Back to you, sir.
Thank you. And again, before we exit the briefing phase, I'm playing Friend in the FBI, which allows me to take 2 of the 10 tokens on that card during briefing to add to my resource pool, and I'll be discarding those to pay for the card at this point in time. Let's say we skip past healing because, again, everyone is in top-notch health, and requisition because the only equipment card I couldn't even afford it at this point. Sorry. For deployment, we'll be keeping the team all out in the field as they are. And for case assignment, we will be sending them to Farmington, New Mexico, and that is a multi-site, David, which costs 1, but I'm going to use Mulder's token to pay for that. And Farmington, New Mexico has many keywords. Amongst them is alien investigation, so Mr. Kevin Morris will add 1 to my resource pool. And the other keywords on that site are motive and method, and computer, and alien investigation.
I have just 1 bluff.
1 bluff it is. I'm nervous about that bluff, but no guts, no glory, as they say. Let's head into investigation phase. We'll be sending all of the team to that site, and we'll be applying our alien investigation skills to it, of which Mulder has 4, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 3, Burke has 1, for a total of 8. Although, if the method is manipulation, if I say the method is manipulation, it would be 4. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. If this site proves successful, I will be asking if the method is manipulation. Okay. Let's see that bluff.
The bluff is the mailman.
The mailman.
4,
all right, so
upside down, so 3.
Got 4 to choose from here, David. This is interesting. You could take Mulder's last token to pay for a site. You can take Burke's token that would negate an adversary, an occult adversary, that is. And Kresge's 1 for negating a healing, and Manners' last witness token.
It's going to be Manners' last witness token, yeah.
Had a feeling you would go for that one. Wise call. So you're only sitting on 2 conspiracy at this point, aren't you?
Correct.
You can only do so much damage with that.
That is a very strong alien investigation skill. I've got nothing to stop you.
Whew. Yeah, as I previously stated, if this site investigation is successful, of which it is, I will be asking if the method is manipulation. And David, let's do it. Is your X-Files method manipulation?
It is not.
It is not. And I believe that scratches off like 5 more possibilities. So that will be a nay on the identity question. So let us discard Farmington, New Mexico. And unless David has any other cards to play, we will head into the Debriefing phase.
Nothing else. Let's go right to debriefing.
Yeah, and actually I don't want to discard too much, so I want to play Surfing the Net now for 2.
Have you checked your email this morning, Mulder?
No, why?
Because I received something unsettling, and I wondered if you'd gotten it too.
What is it?
It's a digitally scanned photograph. There's another one, Mulder. His name is Dr. James Dickens. And Mulder?
Yeah.
He's right here in Washington.
Stay where you are, Scully. I'll be right there to pick you up.
Surfing the Net has a keyword computer, and it requires that a team make a computer force skill check, which Charles Burke alone makes that. If successful, draw 3 cards from your opponent's bureau deck. David, hold up those top 3 cards in your bureau deck, and I will choose one of them to place in my bureau section face down. It will be a event resource, the one that I choose. The other 2 will go back down in your bureau deck in an order of my choosing. Just you got to hold them up so I get to see them.
Okay.
Well, you're not supposed to get to see them, but I am.
I didn't. Really
I recognize one. Can you hold them up to the camera? I think I. Actually, I was gonna say. Okay.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see them. Seeing as I'm gonna take the middle one.
Okay.
Definitely gonna take the middle one, and I'm gonna put Surfing the Net on top of it. It is now an event resource, even though if you saw it, it is not of that event card type. But Surfing the Net you can use to pull, you can take any card. It could be conspiracy, it could be resource, it doesn't matter. So it can just be played at any time. Whenever I do, Surfing the Net is discarded. Now, with that out of the way, let's decide if we're going to get rid of anything. McGrath.
Okay. I have 6, but in the interest of reducing my hand size for next round, I'm going to discard Evidence Destroyed.
Okay.
So that takes me to 5.
All right. Let's pass it to you, my friend. Draw that free card.
Draw that card to start my turn.
Yep.
Interesting. Generate res. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll take me up to 12. Of that 12, I'm going to buy 3.
3? Okay.
3. And I'll turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Thank you. I will discard 2 cards, Shotgun for 6 and Near-Death Experience for 4. So that's going to take my conspiracy pool up from 5 to 15. And let's do 4 cards. So
Okay.
now I'll take it down from 15 to 11. Oh, blue plate. I'm going to just do that now. Blue plate special.
How's the blue plate?
Looks good.
I'll have 1 medium rare, please.
So play this card and flip over the next card in your bureau deck. If that card is playable this turn, I'm going to do so for 0 costs, so it's got to be a conspiracy card. And it is not. It is unfortunately a sight card, so that is going bye-bye. Let's heal Henderson, shall we?
Yes, let's move right to the healing phase. We'll take 1 off of Henderson. She's in the recovery room there.
Yep.
Next would be requisition. Not going to do any requisition this turn. Deployment. My 4 healthy agents are going to stay in the field. Moving right to case assignment. We are going to the NASA Mission Control in Houston, Texas. That is Sciences 5 or Observation 5. And I may ask an affiliation or result question. Now that costs 1, but I'm going to use Nancy Spiller's token.
Yep.
This token may be used to pay for any keyword computer or sciences card.
Mm-hmm.
And this does have the keyword sciences on it. So.
Why would Drake call for the correct time just before he died?
It was an incoming call from somewhere in the Urisco building itself. Whoever set the trap wanted to make sure that Drake took the bait.
Excellent work, Agent LaManna.
Thank you.
Yeah, dose bluffs.
Dose bluffs. Interesting.
And Guillaume, I can take the 2 from Rejuvenating Caves at any point, right? Doesn't have to be during briefing, right?
I think so, but hold on.
Beginning on your opponent's next turn, you may take up to 2 tokens from this card and place them in your pool. Tokens become resource cards when it never says when, so it can be at any point.
Yeah, we usually do it during briefing, but
we usually do. Yeah. I'm just reserving that just on the off chance, but I just wanted to double check on that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you kindly. Because I am weary though that because I know David likes to play with certain cards that I, as a rule, do not include in my deck because they are the epitome of dick cards, and they are unexpected call and too close to the truth.
Putting this deck together, I had those cards out, and I chose not to use them because I know that...
You should have told me that, because now I'm like, well, in that case, 2 more. Thanks for letting me know on that, because I was like, well, just in case, because you have burned me with those cards before. So.
I have, but it's generally accepted that those are unfavorable.
They have their place. I just don't like using them in my deck. I don't feel good about using them. So are we sending all of them to the site?
All of them to the site, yes, sir.
Tell us about which skill you're choosing to apply your agent's mad skills.
We're going with sciences. It's 5+, as Filler has 2, Scully has 3, and my friend Dr. Charles Berg has 2. That gives me 7.
There's a lot of sciences between all of them. Okay, ready for the bluffs? Yes. First one is my second nasty surprise. Play to add 5 tokens to the pool, so I'll add 3 more. The second one is Car Troubles, which I'll play for 2 to force David to only send 2 of his 4 agents to the site. His choice, nonetheless, because Car Troubles unfortunately resulted in a breakdown on the side of the road, so 2 of your 4 agents are going to be waiting for AAA to arrive. They will not be allowed to use their skills at any point in this investigation. And, David, you may not use the Evasive Maneuvers card if you should happen to have it in your hand.
I'm going to Langley that.
Lone gunman.
It's Mulder. Turn the tape recorder off.
Okay, it's off.
Turn it off.
It's off already.
How would you like to have on your front page the first substantiated photo of an extraterrestrial biological entity?
No way. An EBE? What do we have to do?
Just hack me some identification numbers.
So, everyone is still in. Don't have much more to work with, but, well, no, I got something. Sure. But because this is an affiliation site, I'm going to be playing the red-haired man for 6. So that's going to take it down from 14 to 8. The red-haired man, again, has a activator of affiliation site. He has the keywords government, creature, and master, David. The red-haired man, David, is able to use subterfuge and martial arts cards. The rest doesn't apply because I do not know your X-Files affiliation as of this point. Do you have anything you would like to use to negate him before we head into combat?
I'm sure you'll appreciate the irony here. I have evasive maneuvers.
You can't... Oh, well, You negated it, so yeah. All right, yeah, he's non-phenomena, so damn it. Well played on that.
Roger, request for assistance 50. What is your present location? Unit 50, go ahead.
Suspect now westbound has entered the shade of the shipworks off April Street. Unit 50 still in pursuit. Over.
Roger, Unit 50, I copy. Keep me advised when you are clear.
Bravo, my friend.
Anything else for me?
No.
Right.
As a result of your diligent efforts in this round, you and your team have been awarded a question regarding my X-File. And what will it be, good sir?
I'm going to ask affiliation. Is your affiliation evolutionary?
My X-Files affiliation is not evolutionary. But nevertheless, I do applaud your efforts in that round. You did a great job. As we head into debriefing, I have 7 cards in my hand, so keeping them all.
I have 6, so no discard. Oh.
No discard. Back to me, drawing my free card. Oh, and it was hard evidence. Good stuff. So, but let me do my res and get that out of the way, of which I still have 5 res from Mulder, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and Burke. Oh, plus 2 from friend in the FBI. And the 3 from 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 and Burke. Let's do 2 cards plus 3 more, which takes it down from 7 to 4. And as I said, I just drew hard evidence, so pay 2, take it back up to 7. Sounds good, Guillaume? All right, thanks.
And sell travel arrangements for 2, and Dr. Blockhead for 2. That gives me 4.
Yep.
Take me up to 6.
Yep.
And then I do need to purchase some here. I'm going to buy 2. It'll take me down to 4.
Okay.
Buying dose. That takes me from 6 to 4, and I will turn back to you.
So everyone has passed their physicals with flying colors, and we will be skipping healing as a result of that. We'll also be skipping requisition because I don't have any equipment cards at this point. For case assignment, we will send them to UFO wreckage in Townsend, Wisconsin. Nevertheless, Kevin is giving me 1 for that because it does have alien investigation as a keyword. It also has the keywords bureaucracy, motive, and result. And I don't know. Do I want to use Mulder's last token on that? No, I'll just pay for it. What do you got?
What do I got? No bluffs.
No bluffs. Let's head into investigation phase, in which all of the agents will be allocating their skills to this site, and we will be specifically applying our alien investigation skills to this site, for which Mulder has 4, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 3, Burke has 1, for a total of 8, more than enough to make the alien investigation prerequisite of 5. I await any other cards you have for me, David.
Skunked on this one. No, nothing to block your investigation.
Okay. All right. So because the site has proven successful, my team has been awarded either a motive or a result question. David, by any chance, is your X-Files motive knowledge?
It is knowledge.
And it is knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe just for fun, maybe I'll just go ahead and take a 1 in 6 shot. Just, see what happens. And
if you get David, this right, I'm going to flip this table. I'm going to be so pissed. Go for it.
I mean, miracles have happened, but because there's still 4 affiliations remaining, I can rule out another one depending on which one I go for. So that's kind of also the purpose for this. David, by any chance, is your X-File Colonel Wharton, the Zombie Master?
It is not.
It is not. And so I have narrowed the possibilities of David's X-File down to 5. And David, you may ask either a motive question or you may take a crack at my X-Files identity. What's your poison?
I'm not going to do identity. I haven't eliminated nearly enough. So I will ask, is your motive ideology?
Son of a bitch. Yes. Yes, my X-Files motive is ideology, and I have just shot myself in the foot with that identity question. So I shudder to think how many you have remaining. You can't ask an identity question at this juncture. You have probably narrowed it down to just about as many as I have now. But
yeah, that kind of equalized the field here, leveled the playing field a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do something I don't like to do. Well, because I have too many cards in my hand and I don't want to discard stuff, I'm going to play a Deep Throat because otherwise I'm going to have to lose a whole bunch of stuff from my hand. So my resource pool is being drained from 7 to 2 to play Deep Throat, and I will ask one more characteristic question regarding David's X-File. I'll remove this card from the game. David, is your X-Files affiliation alien?
Yes, it is.
All right. I have now narrowed you down to 2. All right, so that I feel a little better now. So he's down to 2, ladies and gentlemen. But I really don't like playing Deep Throat, but because we're about to head in debriefing, and I have to get rid of stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to get rid of puzzles within puzzles. Conundrum's got to go bye too. So, yeah, I pulled too many cards, and you didn't put up much of a fight. So, anyway, how many do you have left, if you don't mind my asking?
I've got 6. I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay, and we'll pass it back to me. And wait, no, we'll pass it to you.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Yeah, we'll pass it to you. It's your turn, David. Draw your free card.
Start my turn with the free card.
Yep.
And then generate res. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes me up to 7. I'm going to buy just 1. And then
you're going to buy
just
what?
1 card, and I've already drawn it, so I turn to you to sell and buy for conspiracy.
Thank you. Selling 2 hacking the government files for 5, evasive maneuvers for 4. That's 9, 17. Let's do 6. Take it down from 17 to 11. Okay. Where are we heading, David? Oh no, Henderson's coming back. That's a upside.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is the healing phase, so that's the last token off of Henderson, and then to requisition. Add no requisition at this time. So deployment. I'll bring Henderson back out. Case assignment. Okay. This is either going to really pay off or I'm hosed. I'm going to use Henderson's token. Discard a token and look through your bureau deck to draw any one site that asks a motive question. Add that to your hand.
So you think it's the same person that wrote the first note?
Uh-huh. It's the guy you think killed Agent Perdue?
Yeah.
You know what occurred to me? You never got any prints off those notes. If this guy was wearing a glove on his pen hand, note wouldn't be smeared like it is. For what it's worth.
Okay, yeah, you're going to have to go for a multi-site for that because you already know I mean, you could do motive and go for an identity, but why?
Well, I thought I had that multi-site. I do not.
Oh, no. Well, even just I guess, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you might as well You
I expended the
might as well
token,
just-
so I'm going to take a sight card anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to use 2. Oops. Damn it, where was I? 6? Use 2 to play Grid Pattern Search.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Just a few minutes of your time, ma'am. Beautiful day, isn't it? I wonder if I can interest you in the word of the Lord. Leather bound in black or red. Your choice.
Go away.
This is 1-4, target sighted.
And I'm going to pull out Los Angeles, California.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And now that you have Henderson, you can actually do evidence collection this time round.
Los Angeles, that costs 1, so it'd take me down to 3.
Yeah.
And I turn to you for any bluffs.
1 bluff on that
right.
one.
All agents are going to the site.
Okay, and presumably you are going to be applying your evidence collection skills to the
You are
site,
correct,
yes?
sir.
What do you got?
Evidence collection. I've got 1 from Manners, 1 from Spiller, 2 from Scully, and 3 from Henderson. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Sounds good. All right, so the 1 bluff is Intruder Countermeasures Program, which will allow me to add 2 to my pool immediately. The card was face down, so I'll be able to add the full amount to that. And because this site of yours has a method question as a possibility, I'm going to be playing Squeeze because it has an activator of method site, which will take my conspiracy pool down from 13 to 10. Squeeze has the keywords evolutionary and creature and adversary, in case you're sitting on that Gen Con X. Do you have anything you'd like to use to negate him before we go into combat?
Nope, let's go right to it.
Okay, and so the effect for Squeeze is that the long-range combat round is skipped, so therefore we'll be jumping right over to the close-range combat round. How much close range does your team have?
Close range. Manners is 1. Spiller is 1. Scully is 2. So that makes 4 so far. And then 1 from Burke is 5. And 1 from Henderson is 6.
6. More than enough to defeat Squeeze, but not, however, before he inflicts 3 close range on Nancy Spiller, which is going to be enough to send her to the hospital because she has a health of 3, correct?
She does.
Unless you got something you want to play?
I do. I'm going to play Watch Out.
Oh, okay.
Play this card when your opponent is about to assign damage. You now choose which of the agents or adversaries under your control take the damage. The damage may not be split unless you play a card that allows you to do so. So I'm going to put all that damage onto Burke.
Okay, which is going to send him to the hospital.
Sends him to the hospital. The 3. And I did not pay my 1 for Watch Out, so I take that off right now.
Mm-hmm. And as I said, you do have enough close range to defeat a Squeeze. However, got my favorite combat card right here, David. And this one I've been holding on to for a while, waiting for the right adversary to come up. And I'm going to be playing that now. And that is Illusionary Foe, which I will be paying 4. And that'll knock my conspiracy pool down from 10 to 6. And David, Illusionary Foe is by far my favorite combat card, and I'll tell you why. It allows me to play on an occult or evolutionary adversary, of which Squeeze is, and that will negate all damage allocated to the adversary this round. So all of that close range you inflicted on him is gone ski. And we're heading into another round of close range combat. So now I believe you are sitting on 5 close range. Is that correct?
Let me just recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct.
Which is enough to defeat Squeeze, yes, but however, he will be inflicting 3 more damage on, once again, Nancy Spiller, and she will be sent to the hospital because she has a health of 3. All right, so she's out, but I think, are you still sitting pretty on evidence collection?
Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 6.
Wow, even with 2 agents gone, he's still got enough evidence collection, huh, Guillaume? Pretty good. That is pretty good. However, I do have an ace up my sleeve, and that is the the Surfing the Net resource card that's been sitting over here. And David, do you not recall what card was under there?
I know. I was not looking.
It's my buddy Detective Thompson. Bureaucracy. And that's why I was so adamantly going after Spiller, because she does have a little bit of bureaucracy on her.
Any suspects yet, Detective?
I don't work for you, sir. And unless you hear different from the Attorney General, this case is a local matter.
Agent Mulder, we should go.
There's no need to get bent out of shape.
On the contrary, I think I've been exceedingly polite.
So Detective Thompson will change the site prerequisite to Bureaucracy 3. Currently, David has no bureaucracy amongst his 3 surviving agents, and so therefore he's going to have to call upon a witness courtesy of Detective Manners, which will cost 1 of his tokens. And while he's doing that, I'm going to just go ahead and play Lula Phillips for 1 before we get too far out of this, because Lula Phillips will allow me to play after an adversary sends an agent to the hospital, of which we just got done doing that not once but twice. And I will add 5 tokens to my pool, but I'll only be adding 4 because I am paying 1 for that. So Lula Phillips takes my conspiracy pool up to 7. So David, you got a witness? Can I get a witness?
Yes, you can. General Thomas Callahan. Oh, but I can't play him because he costs 4.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, buddy. No dice.
Oh, no.
You can keep him and sell him for CP because you will need it for the next round. Yeah, so this is coming down to just a lack of resource points because I would not have had anything to counter that. But again, you can sell Callahan for CP in the next round if you so choose.
That doesn't make me feel any better. So we're in debriefing, and I have 8, so I need to...
I guess we'll say goodbye to the Manitou, because that's a motive activator, and you're trying very hard to not do motive at this point.
No, I need to hold on to that. I'm going to discard F Emasculata, Adversary.
All right, ready to pass it back to me?
Yeah, I'm down to 7, so over to you to start your investigation.
3 card. And 2 from Friend in the FBI. And we have 3 more from my 2 gents, Krychek and Burke. Let's do Mulder's 2 plus 2 more. Okay. What are you selling?
I'm going to sell the Waham is it Waham Propulsion Laboratory?
Should be Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell Tracking the Killer.
Okay.
Both of these are motives, so that's not helping me really. I'm going to sell Callahan.
Yep.
And yeah, so that'll get me 8.
All right.
I'm going to buy 3. And now back to you, sir.
Thank you kindly. Let's skip past the healing phase. Got no issues regarding healing as of yet. Thank goodness. No requisition to be done in the requisition phase either. For deployment, everyone will remain out in the field. And for case assignment, we'll be sending the team to Newark, New Jersey. And I will be using Mulder's last token to pay for that site. And because Newark, New Jersey has the keyword evidence collection, Kevin Morris will add 1 to my resource pool for that. Newark, New Jersey, David, is a mono site with the keywords method and evidence collection.
Wow. Just 1.
Just 1 bluff? Let's head into the investigation phase, and we'll be sending everyone to that site. And this is, again, a site with prerequisite of evidence collection, for which Mulder has 2, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 has 2, and Detective Manners has 1. That's 5. What's that bluff, David, you got there? Show it to me.
Unnatural aging.
Oh, geez, we haven't seen that one in this game, have we?
Yeah, I just fell asleep.
You want a few more minutes?
No, I'm up.
Scully. Mulder, what happened to you?
I'm going to let you take that back if you so choose.
Because you've got the
Yeah,
sciences.
I did that earlier, so I will allow you that same courtesy. Well, just in the off chance, I'll just go ahead and just play Warning from the Loa for 2, just because I got to get rid of some cards anyway. I'm going to force you to reveal any adversaries in your hand. If you have 1 or more, you're going to discard 1 at random. Show me the adversaries.
Got 1, Leonard.
Leonard. Okay. That's unfortunately David. Leonard will be heading to the discard pile. Do you have any non-adversary cards you'd like to play at this point?
I have a couple I'd like to play. I'm going to play Visit from the First Elder.
Okay. Go ahead and read that for the audience, because we don't see that one very often.
Yeah. Show your opponent this card to retrieve all conspiracy cards from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your bureau deck and discard this card. That costs 4.
The ruler of the world is no longer the country with the bravest soldiers, but the greatest scientists. Unfortunately, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 began to conduct his work in secret, not sharing with those who'd risked much in giving him his asylum.
What was he exposing these people to?
Terrible things.
What kinds of things? Have I been exposed?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Please, I'd like to show you something that will give you your answers.
So you shuffled all your conspiracy cards back into your bureau deck. You still have 5 conspiracy points. Is there anything else you want to do to thwart my investigation?
Not at this time. Go ahead.
Ask my question?
Yep.
By any chance, is your X-Files method subterfuge?
It is not.
It is not. By any chance, David, is your X-File Brother Martin Rogue Kindred?
My X-File is Brother Martin. Yes. Congratulations.
Guillaume, what thoughts do you have on this game?
I really enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed that round where I think it was Psychotic Attack that you played, Steven, and David played Watched Out, and then you played Illusionary Foe, so that was nice. And also, David, I was so sorry that you could not pay for Callahan, because that was a really good move.
That would have been nice, yeah. And I don't know if you noticed this. If I had had a chance to ask that method question, the only methods left are subterfuge and threats. So whichever one I would have eliminated would have...
You would have, if you've been able to afford Callahan, I would have had nothing to stop that. You would have been able to get that question. Let's play it out, David. Let's say hypothetically you got that method question. Which of the two methods would you have asked? Which characteristic?
Oh, I would have asked if your method is subterfuge.
And I would have said my X-Files method is subterfuge.
Oh, well, that wouldn't help too much. That would have left me with 4.
Okay, but of the 4, would you have taken... I mean, I think at that point, knowing that I had your X-File narrowed down to 2, you might have been inclined to take a 25% shot at my X-Files identity. And which of the 4 X-Files would you have guessed?
I would have guessed...
And Guillaume, while you're at it, which of the 4 would you have guessed? I won't say which one until you guys both throw out a possibility.
Okay, I have it. I have my guess right here.
Okay.
I was going to say Donnie Faster.
And Guillaume? Alien listeners?
Yes.
Well, David, that is the brightest timeline because you would have been correct on that.
Oh, wow.
If it had played out that way. So all you needed to potentially win the game was 2 resource points to pay for Callahan, and you would have ascertained that my X-File was Donnie Faster, the Death Fetishist. What about you, David? Tell us a little bit about your 101 size deck, because, I mean, obviously you put some work into that.
Well, I've been holding on to 2 decks. One was my kind of like my bureaucracy government deck that had Skinner and Blevins, which generated like mega resource points for me. And I had a lot of, was it Blevins? Yeah, I think he's the other guy where you get 2 if he's in the bureau, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Bureaucracy, though, yeah. Was that a bureaucracy deck? That wasn't a bureaucracy team, though.
Well, it would have been if I had gotten my cell phones. I had Friend in the Lab. I had, what else? I had a couple of cards that were going to get me my equipment. It never perfectly came together. But I felt like a couple of games with that, and I would have refined it a little better. What I really wanted to do, I had Unnatural Aging and Injured Relative, a bunch of cards. I had the combat card. Was it not Massive Internal Bleeding, but
so that's a killer
sure
card.
You guys know the one I'm thinking of. What else? Brother Martin. Cards that were going to send your guys to either the bureau or the hospital, and I was hoping to just kind of whittle your team down to where you couldn't make your skill check anymore.
I did have this card in my hand right at the very end there. We haven't seen this one come up very often. It's Deductive Reasoning. Played in Guillaume. We've never seen that card get played, have we?
I don't think so. I think I've tried including it in my deck, but either I removed it because my deck was too big, or it just didn't come up.
This card is also interesting, not just because it's an infrequently used one, but it has some interesting keywords on there, and those are event, question, and criminal. And criminal, for those of you who've been looking ahead at my my season 5 spreadsheet, Guillaume, that would be you. You guys would know that the criminal keyword has made a reappearance in some of my Season 5 cards. Whether we do anything with that, well, we'll see. But
is that another
does come up? Sorry, David, what?
Keyword to nowhere?
Yeah, as far as the commercial release cards go, it is a keyword to nowhere. There is nothing in the commercial release cards that would affect a criminal card. And I think, am I correct, Guillaume? Is it the only card in the commercial release cards that has the keyword criminal, or is there a second one? I thought there might be 2 events. Am I wrong?
I'll be able to tell you that in just a second.
Yeah, Simon Goodman's site's a good one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's the only one. It is
the only one. Yeah, so it is a keyword to nowhere. I don't know. Maybe it was the idea was. I honestly wonder if they were meant to put criminal investigation.
I think that was maybe it would make sense because it involves the team making a criminal investigation skill check. So I think it would make sense that it was criminal investigation that was meant to be the keyword.
Go. Let me ask you this, Guillaume, and I don't know if we've talked about this already. The order of your card suits, are you wanting to do them consistently with the way I've done mine for these first 2 seasons? I've got agents, adversaries, witnesses, sites, events, bluffs, equipment, combat. Are you doing the same thing with yours?
Yeah, well, I did not. I have the space for the bureau file numbers on my cards, on my template, but I did not, except it says XF23 and it says 0000 because I don't know which cards will make the final cut. So I did not include any card numbers now. But yeah, once that's done, I think it makes sense to have them in the same order as Season 4 and Season 5.
Okay, yeah, and there's no that's an arbitrary order, but I thought just for a consistency's sake to have the suits appear in the same order throughout. And again, no reason for that, and it's not vital to it or anything like that. It's just more of a, when you're looking at the whole picture, that internal consistency that we all adopted, as our team. I thought that would be another cool thing to, in addition to the bureau file numbers, picking up where each one leaves off. Yeah, you're still going to have to wait until after Nathan finishes his revisiting set before you finally get to assign bureau file numbers to yours, I'm afraid. And by then, we're probably looking at XF24.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
At least, if not XF25, depending on how many Nathan chooses to have in his expansion. But yeah, no, we're banking on... Yeah, I'm hoping maybe we can have Season 5 close to done before the year is out. And then, Nathan's would be XF24. And ideally we'll have it done by, sometime next year. And then you can finally, maybe by Christmas of 2024, be looking at finally getting your cards to see some light for as long as they've been sitting there waiting. And you're not planning to weed out the 25 to 30 or actually probably more like 45 cards.
No, I think I'll show you guys every card that I've come up with, and then we can decide together which one should.
Prior to playtesting or after?
I think prior.
Okay. David, great game, and look forward to throwing down with you in the future. Same with you, Guillaume, because it certainly has been a while.
Yeah, it was a great game tonight. Thank you very much. We both had some really good plays. I had a good time.
Excellent. And that'll wrap things up. And be sure to tune in next time for another edition of Alien Investigations.